So who here has ever been to Chuck E. Cheese? I love Chuck E. Cheese so much. You know that one machine where it goes up and down and up and down, you press the button and you lost. Oh. So anyways, here's a story about summer camp. So you all know how summer camp works, right? You pay $700 and a bunch of strangers get to see you naked. So I'm at summer camp, and it's the middle of the week, you know, that time period where everyone knows you're weird, but they don't know you well enough to call you on it. And I'm working next to Smelly Steve, who showers daily. And I'm watching my bunkmates go to bed, and I'm changing. A quick side note here, my evening attire varies greatly based on the weather or other things that I've been doing during the day. For instance, if I'm warm, I'll throw on a thinner pair of pajamas, or if I'm really hot, I'll throw on a thicker pair. And, well, seeing as I had just gotten back from a long day of running around, swimming, and various other physical activities, I had dressed more for convenience than anything. I was in my boxers. I just love the amount of sleep you get at summer camp, you know. Between the floorboards creaking and little Jimmy snoring and all the crickets chirping, you get about as much sleep as a 3-year-old on Christmas. And so it's 3:24 a.m. and I wake up to hear a floorboard creak, you know, and the kid across the cabin from me gets up, I see, and he starts heading towards the door. So I'm like, okay, he'll just be back in 5 minutes. So, no, he doesn't do that. He goes to the center of the cabin and starts walking around in the circle. Now, I'm really ticked off at this point. I'm like, dude, what is your problem? Go to bed. Now, what would a rational person do in this situation? They would go to bed, okay? You have a 14-year-old kid yelling at you at 3:24 in the morning, stop circling and go to bed. You go to bed, right? No. He comes over, sticks his butt out, and kind of spoons me a little in my own bed. Now, I'm not comfortable with this at all, okay? I have hugged my mother probably 5 times in the last month. We're not an affectionate family, okay? And anyway, so I'm lying there in my bed with this gargantuan mound pressed against me. And I decide that, you know, I'll give the guy a chance. Maybe he's sleepwalking or something. So I poke him in the back lightly, and I say, hey, dude, get out of my bed. And he turns around and says, shut up and go to sleep. Excuse me? This is my bed. You climbed into my bed, spooned me, and now you're yelling at me to go to sleep? I'm sorry. So, at this point, I deemed the best course of action would be to take my hand thusly in the center of his back and push to where he would roll off the bed. He started in that direction, and I let out a greep of joy, and then he comes back and rolls over on top of me. Oh, I was building a storm of insults and vulgar that could not even be quenched by his back sweat. About 2 hours later, I decided to prod him until he woke up. That didn't work very well, so I began to thoroughly revive him by smacking his face with my hand. He started to bubble, so I smacked him harder, and he woke up. And he turns to me and he says, oh, how are you? This shocks me, to say the least, and to the point where I can only respond honestly. Fine. You? True story.